The Israeli-Palestinian conflict. How and why have the borders of the countries and territories involved changed the UN partition plan to the present day? How has this impacted peace? Israel is the only Jewish state in the world, and it is located on the east of the Mediterranean Sea. Palestinians, the Arab population, has grown to a large number from the land Israel now controls, known as Palestine. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a battle over who gets what land and how it's controlled. The UN partition plan. On November 29, 1947, the UN voted on a partition plan. Israel accepted it, meaning they wanted to be two different states. But the Arabs did not agree, causing war against Israel. The Green Line. The Green Line is a term used to indicate the borders between Israel, Jordan, Egypt, and Syria from the period following Israel's 1948 independence war. It is the boundary that is most often known as the land for peace in the Israeli-Palestine. History and background. The Arab-Israeli conflict began in the 20th century, evolving from earlier violence in Palestine. The conflict became a major issue all around with the birth of Israel in 1948. The Arab-Israeli conflict has resulted in at least 5 major wars and a number of small conflicts. It has also been the source of the 2 major Palestinian conflicts involving the government. The Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip is a piece of land taking over 140 square miles along the Mediterranean Sea. In the Gaza Strip, they have very poor living conditions and a lot of people don't work. The Gaza Strip is densely populated with Palestinians. After the war, Israel gained territory and control over the Gaza Strip. Way after, in 2007, anti-Israeli military groups took over. This has caused many wars and frustration between Israel and Palestine. And then here are 4 maps and the Gaza Strip. How has this all impacted peace? And how have the borders changed? The biggest change to Israel's borders was in 1967 when the conflict known as the Six-Day War left Israel, which tripled the size of territory under Israel's control. Throughout the border between Israel and Palestine, there was a lot of conflict. This disagreement has still not been resolved. There were 2 phases of the Civil War, from 1947 to 1948. Was the first phase, and it was located in mandatory Palestine. The second phase was the Palestine War. The plan was to adopt a resolution and was not carried out. This made peace a big problem throughout the years between Palestine and Israel. And then here is a picture of the Sixth War from 1947 to 1948. Okay, and then I drew 4 maps.
What did you use to draw the map?
I used my iPad. This is the 2-state solution. This map is showing 2-state solution, which means that Israel and Palestine would gain independence among themselves. And the 1-state solution is when Israel would merge with the West Bank and the Gaza Strip into one big country. And then for the British Mandate, the British Mandate was around from 1918, 1946 to 1948. This lasted through World War II. Then in 1946, Jordan declared independence. And then this is the UN partition plan. The UN partition plan was proposed by the United Nations, which recommended a divide of Palestine at the end of the British Mandate. And then this is the current map. And the dark tan is Palestine's full control, the light tan is land controlled with Israel, and then the orange is the Gaza Strip.